Blessed is the power granted to my children, for I, Llewellyn, goddess of art and culture, bless the children of Lan with the psychic gift. Hello, this is Natsuya Uesugi with Mixed Manga Writer, and today, in the story behind Grydscaenn, we are going to talk about prophets and the prophet religion, which is the religion of the psychics in the Grydscaenn series. There are three major religions in Grydscaenn. The state religion of the Pacific Territories, which is basically not even a religion. It's not spiritual. It's more of honoring the royal imperial family and showing respect and honor and dignity to the institution of the empire. Then you have the hackers, and they worship technology. So if you look at the Jester Hacker Guild, you have Hackers Unite, Hack Till You're Dead, one of the sayings and the mission of the Jester Hacker Guild. And those hackers worship technology as their god. It's complex, we'll go into that later. The third religion is that of the prophets. There is a religious text, the Parable of Thoth, based on the god of wisdom, Thoth, and his Dark Lord brother Set, god of the underworld. And then there's Llewellyn, who is the goddess of art and culture, and she gave the gift of psychic power, and she is the consort to the great Lord Thoth. So the prophets, it's a religion that is a pagan religion with the many gods, and it does believe in meditation, and that Codis is a state of being, that being psychic is a state of enlightenment and bringing oneself closer to an understanding within and also of the universe. So bringing everybody together, collective unconscious. And they're also, in the prophet religion, those who are of the third estate, who are monks and priests and mediums, warrior monks, as well as ceremonial magi and black adepts. So there are different levels of dedication to the prophet religion. There's also two shrines. So there's the prophet shrine in the zone, and there's the prophet shrine in the city. And they both have underground areas where the main ceremonies take place. You can see actually some of those ceremonies that will occur in the Prophet Trilogy, which is up and coming, and you get to see that. There's usually a Torii gate or something like it at each of the prophet shrines, and the prophets do, kind of like Shinto, believe that there are many kami of different things. So there are nature spirits, and there are totem animals, spirit guides, spirits in the water. In the prophet shrine in the zone, there is the tree of life, which is actually in the middle of a Ketic pool. In order to be considered to be a shrine, there does need to be a Ketic pool, which is a pool of purple water infused with Ketic energy. It's kind of viscous, and that is, you can get a contact infection, become psychic if you are actually touch the Ketic pool, and the psychic the pack rat Naito, that is actually how he becomes psychic, because as a child he was at a shrine in the city with his family, and he literally was playing in the kiddie pool, and that's where his psychic power came from a Codis infection. The prophet religion is very detailed and in-depth. There are ceremonies, there are esoteric magic, there are scriptures, there are mantras, there's sacred art, there's sacred symbols, astrology, and divination, star charts. All of those things go on. And the pack rats actually have a spiritual leader locally in the sprawl, which is Aseth. And then the overall spiritual leader of the pack rats is the blue adept Aiken. The prophets also cross over with the trance channelers. We will go into that. That is, trance channelers can see the past, present, and the future in the time stream. There are actually two trance channelers that the pack rats have. Ian, who at times has been blind, but she does communicate with June, who is in a controlling chamber in a state of semi-animation, so she is asleep in a trance, and she is always connected to the time stream, and in order to get her prophecies, Ian has to resonate with her. And so the prophets help guide the spiritual life of the pack rats, but if you remember, Article 15 says that spirituality is outlawed, and that is another thing that is key to the series, because lay practitioners of the prophet religion, so for example Sakama and his little brother Nier, their mother was a prophet lay priestess, and during the book burnings and religious wars that were being, the violence that occurred in the echelons, Sakama and Nier actually saw their mother killed by the zone police while she was in prayer. So that is definitely religious persecution, because the prophet religion is pagan. That is not the state religion of the emperor in the Pacific territories. So that is definitely something that is talked about and important to the spirituality in the Grydscaenn series. So thank you very much for tuning in. Like and subscribe if you want to learn more about the science fiction, cyberpunk, technothriller Grydscaenn series, which has novels, anime, and manga. Thanks.